Hello there. Are you playing a role of a product owner? Are you having trouble maintaining and prioritizing the product backlog? Or you're a business analyst assisting the product owner? Then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to talk about a technique called user story map. This video is first in the business analysis technique video series. We are going to cover one business analysis technique every single week. These videos will be short and up to the point. They will have just three things. Part one would be what the technique is and what are the key benefits. Part two would be explanation of the technique using a case study. And part three would be the supporting materials and the cheat sheets which you can download and start using these techniques in your day job right now. Okay, let's back to this video. In this video, we're going to cover a technique called user story map. Before we get into it, I just wanted to tell you that if you're new to our channel or you're watching our videos for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that we'll be notified. We're planning to release a business analysis technique video every single week for a couple of months down the line. So make sure you're subscribed. Okay, let's get started on the user story map. Okay, let's get started. User story mapping was invented by Jeff Patton. He talks about this extensively in his book, User Story Mapping. I provided a link below in the description box. You can go and check it out for deeper understanding of this particular technique. The key benefits from this technique, how I see it, is it has a visual representation of an entire product backlog. So usually what we have seen is the product backlog would be maintained in an Excel spreadsheet. It will be having epics and list of user stories listed to it and the series of epics, but that doesn't give you an end-to-end view, but this technique does. So this product backlog can be represented from an end-to-end view from a customer's perspective. And this will help in requirement prioritization because you will be able to see the end-to-end view and you would be able to identify which requirement or which feature would make much more sense to the customer and make their life better. And also, again, I feel this can also be one of a requirement used as a requirement gathering technique. So you can start off with the business stakeholders using this technique to gather high quality requirements on what they want the product to be. So we'll cover a lot of those in details using the case study next. Okay, let's look at the case study. So there's a restaurant called ABC Cuisines. They're looking for an online home delivery service for their restaurant. So basically, they just want their customers to order food through an online channel, and it can be delivered to their homes. So Raj is the business analyst, is part of a consulting firm, and he's hired up to set this up. So he's going to use the user story mapping technique first off to gather the business requirement, and then use the same thing for maintaining the product backlog and the release prioritization. So let's see how he does that. Okay, now let's take a look how Raj builds the user story map. Step number one would be he would be calling all the business stakeholders to a workshop. And if you're wondering how to conduct a workshop, we have a video for that. I will link it in the description box below and you can check it out. So basically, you'll invite all the relevant stakeholders to a workshop, and the first thing he would be asking them is what are the activities the end user or the customer would be doing in order to achieve their goal. So in this scenario of ordering food online, so there will be a sequence of steps, which activities which a consumer will be doing or the customer will be doing. So that would be the first question which we'll be asking the business stakeholders. So in our example, it would be this browse. So first off, customer would be using this online channel, either website or app, to browse the list of items available for ordering, and then they will pick whatever it's interesting for them. So they will order that, and then it will be great for them to make the payment online or giving them an option how to pay. Some prefer online, some prefer cash. So all those things would be the next step, the payment. And once the customer ordered and paid for it, or selected the payment option, the next the activity would be tracking. So they would be interested when the food will be arriving, where exactly the food is, all those sort of things. So this is the end-to-end sequence of activities which a customer would be doing for ordering food online. So this is the first step in this user story map which you'll be doing. So you'll bring out the big activities and put it on the top. The next set of questions you'll be asking is, what are the tasks the customers would be performing for these activities? So let's look at the browse one. So the customers may like the items which are grouped by categories. Let's say these are the items for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, vegetarian, non-vegetarian options. So categories is a very good thing for them to easily look at what they're looking for. And the second option would be, the basic one, search bar. So they can just put in a food item, and those can be listed out in the search results. So these are some tasks which the customers would be doing for browsing and finding out the food item which they want to order. So these would be the kind of answers you'll be getting from the business stakeholders. So as soon as you get those, just put it in a sticky note, or if you're doing an online, I think you can just record it in a note or a word, and then you can put it out in the map. But this is very good if it is done in person. But if it's a distributed team, then you can use Visio. Visio also has kind of a big scape. You can put all those rectangular box and start typing it out. So that is one way to do it. And the next, again, we continue in the activity sequence. So again, we can ask what are the tasks which the customer would be performing during the order phase of the journey. So this would be like, okay, first off, they have to get registered to their to this particular online portal, and then they would be able to log in. And then this would be like add and remove food items from the shopping cart, so they can add whatever they like. And so for example, if they don't like one thing they've ordered, or it was ordered by mistake, there should be an ability for them to remove from the cart. And also it'll be great for the customer if we can just duplicate the previous order, because most of the people just order the same thing. So it'll save them a lot of time if there is an option they can just click on, and whatever they ordered earlier can be reordered. So those are the tasks which will be under the order uh, phase of this end-to-end customer activity sequence. And the next one is pay. So in under pay, yeah, payment can be made by customer using cash. So there should be an option for the in the online channel to allow customer to pay by cash. And the other one was some customers prefer to pay online itself, so they might like using the debit or credit card. Some might like to use their internet banking portal to pay, and some might use the payment wallets, Amazon Pay, PayPal, etc., etc. So there's a lot of payment wallets available now, by now Apple Pay. All those things can be used. So the online channel should be allowing the customers to make payment through these channels. And the last uh, activity for the customer will be tracking. And here, the first thing after they've ordered, it will be like the ETA. The customers will be really interested to know when the food will be arriving. So if you say after the order, it'll be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, that'll be a good indication for the customers to understand when it will be arriving. And it'll be, they can, be prepare for it. For example, if they want to step out and come back in time. So all those things can be managed. So ETA is a good thing to display to the customer. And also support. So the other thing is, if there's any problem with the online order and they want to talk to someone, so the support functionality should be able to connect to a live person who's manning a live chat console. So it can be a chat, or maybe someone they can speak to in case of issues with the order. So that is one key functionality of the task which the customer would be doing if there's a problem with the order. So that's really key. And the other one is order progress. So ETA is a good thing, but it would be great to let the customer know that their food is prepared, it's on the way. So again, just like an intermediate status, so the customers are informed. Another really cool feature is live tracking. So let's say the delivery person has left the hotel with the package, so they can know where exactly they are using the maps. And so again, this will also help them to keep track of their the food delivery. So all of this is basically the requirements. So these are the activities and these are the tasks which the customers who want to, what the customers would be doing. So if you're going to use this in an agile, fit it into an agile methodology, all the activities, the browse, order, pay, and track would become your epics, and all the tasks would become your user stories, and all the user stories will be relevant, it will be tagged accordingly to the epics. For example, group by category, search by keyword. These are the tasks performed for the browse functionality. So all those relevant user stories will be tagged to that particular epic. Similarly, cash payment, debit card, credit card payment, internet banking payment wallets, those will be tagged to the the epic related to payment. So that's how you can fit it in. So if you look at this now, you have an end-to-end, this is basically nothing but a graphical or a visual representation of your product backlog. So everything is there. It's easy, visual. I know this is a simple example, but if you go with a complex example, the principles and the concepts remain the same. You just need a bigger whiteboard, or if you want to do it in an online platform, I think Visio would support as much bigger canvas you can. So it can be done there. So this gives you an end-to-end view of the product backlog. Did you agree it's better than just a Excel spreadsheet with a list of epics and user stories? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, so this is the first part. It helped you to gather the requirement and also help you to visualize and maintain the product backlog. The second part, which I promised earlier as a benefit, was the prioritization. So this will again let you clearly see which are the features are key to the customer. So the MVP, or the minimum viable product, which is the usually the release one. So there, all the business stakeholders and the product owner will be involved to basically understand what are those key functionalities which has to be present in the product before we can, deliver, let it open to the public. So that will be usually your release one. So in our example, if we state, so this are the key things which has to be there in the product in order to be released. So the group, the search by the category, so the search by keyword, group by categories, registration, login, addition and removal from cart. Similarly, at least cash payment and debit and credit card should be there in order for them to make the payment. And then the ETA, it's a really good thing. They should not list when it is coming, and also support very key functionality, because if there's a problem with online order, what would they do? So this kind of summarizes your MVP or release one. And now the remaining things can be reviewed and prioritized as we go on. So for example, let's keep the audit progress and internet banking as release two, because a lot of customers did uh, want to use their internet banking. So this will be based on the feedback from your release one, how the customers are interacting, and also what what do you think is a good thing, or what the business stakeholders think it's a good functionality for the customers to have next. So that's how you keep on building it. Similarly, release 3 will deliver the duplicate previous order, integration with the payment wallets, live tracking, etc., and so forth. So you can go on building out the release roadmap as well using this particular technique. And again, it's easily there for anyone to see, and easily they're able to understand. It makes sense to the business stakeholders, the PO, and also to the development team testing. So everybody has a common understanding, and it's a really good technique. I would highly recommend you start using it in your role, and it will help you to gather the requirement easily, maintain the product backlog visually, and also in the release prioritization. Okay, that covers it. Did you find this technique useful? If so, I would request you can go ahead and download the user story map cheat sheet which you have created. It will summarize the step-by-step how to create a user story map, and also the example which we covered. So you can use it as a reference to start implementing this technique in your day job. That brings us to the end of this video. Did you enjoy this video? If so, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you're not already done so. And also, if you have any questions on this particular technique, leave a comment and we will try to answer it as soon as possible. And also, request you to provide your feedback on the next business analyst techniques you want to be covered as part of this weekly series. So based on your feedback and recommendation, we'll pick up those techniques. We'll do in a similar way. We'll cover a quick introduction, benefits, and then we'll take a case study and how to explain how to use the technique, and followed by thirdly the supporting materials so that you can start using these techniques. So it's more of a practical approach on implementing a technique rather than just talking about the business analyst technique. So hope you really like this video. We would love to hear about more about from you on this from in the comment section. Thanks once again to watching this video till the end. I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye bye.